Hey, podcast friends. This is Dr. Steve Hewlett with the podcast Simple Healthy Choices for Weight Loss, where every week we help people who have realized that as their health has been declining over the years, the number of medications they are being prescribed is increasing. We want to help you reverse this health path so you can live the vibrant, pain-free, and hopefully medication-free life you deserve to live. If you'd like even more information on this topic, you can go to Amazon or Audible and pick up my book, Your Plate is Your Fate. And if you think my book helps you on your new health path, please tell your friends and leave a review where you purchased it. Hey, welcome back, podcast friends. And today we have another interview, and this one is really special to me. This is a girl that I actually worked with, and just in us talking, she started thinking about things that she was doing, and she decided to take matters in her own hands. And she had, well, I won't even tell you what she's done so far. I'll let her tell you this. But this is LeAnna Robey. And LeAnna, thank you so much for joining us today. And I really, I want other people to hear your story so they can know that they also can do this. It's not as hard as a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. So first, what did you do? Tell everybody what you did and why you did it.
So first off, thank you guys so much for inviting me to this. I would have never thought I would have been on a podcast. But when it got down to it, when I started my new job, I had, that one flight of stairs. And I was like, okay, one flight, I can do it. And just day after day of going up those stairs and just being so out of breath and so like, I have to sit down, just doing one flight of stairs. I didn't think that I was super overweight. Like, obviously I was overweight. I'm still considered overweight, but just feeling that feeling of my heart racing and just being so out of breath, I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore.
Now, you had lost a little bit of weight before while you were still working with me, and then you gained some back.
Mm-hmm,
What happened? And then this was your why later on why you did it this time. And how many pounds have you lost?
So today is 43 pounds total.
43 pounds. And that was in how long?
I started this back in May.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is September.
So 4 months.
That's awesome.
May,
That's
June, July,
fantastic.
August. About 3 months, 3-4 months. That is absolutely wonderful. Yeah. And was it hard to do?
I think starting out, it really was just trying to change from those bad eating habits to the better ones that I have. They're not great, but they're a lot better for sure. That first month was pretty hard. I went, hungry a lot. Well, I thought I was hungry a lot, but just trying to bridge that 1 month. And then now it's easy. Now it's like, oh, I can do one meal a day now.
Right. Isn't it weird how you think you're hungry and everybody does, you think you're hungry. And if you just realize, wait a minute, that's just a thought. And you say, wait a minute, I'm not really hungry. Or you distract yourself all the way. It's gone all of a sudden. And that's something I think a lot of people don't know. As soon as they feel like you're hungry, they think, oh, I'm hungry. I better eat something. Then they go to, vending machines and all this other stuff. So what did you change in first, I'm also curious, how did you know, you said that your why was because you got tired going up one flight of steps. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would think, oh, that means I need to exercise more. How did you know that it wasn't about exercise, it's about losing weight?
Well, obviously working with you and talking to you for 3 years, just here and there, I had that as my background. So I feel like that was kind of cheating.
That's not cheating.
But I listen to your guys' podcasts and I watch your YouTube videos. Just taking that knowledge, like, okay, these are people that, know way more than I do. And, I was like, I have to listen to them. I have to take their advice because they know more than what I do. And it makes sense to me when they're talking about it.
So what did you change?
So one, no Starbucks. So I used to get that at daily Starbucks, a giant coffee Starbucks. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Look how much money you've saved there.
I know. But so I don't get that anymore. I drink 2 of my Stanley waters, which I'm still coming up short on my, that.
Your maintenance water, daily water intake. Yeah.
So still coming up short, but I'm drinking more water than I did, and then eating in that window of time. So, you guys talked about having that, 8-hour window. My window starts at 12:30 because that's what time my lunch is at work now. And so if I'm, feeling that really hungry feeling like, okay, it's time to eat, I'll take, some deviled eggs, just something small, just to hold me over till my main meal at night.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what time do you eat at night?
Usually when I get home, so it's like 5 or 5:30, just around that time.
And you start at 12:30?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a 5-hour window?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, even people that have to eat in an 8-hour window, but you've got it down to 5. That's wonderful. That just that much more time that you're keeping your insulin levels low, which is the problem of all diseases and everything. I mean, it's crazy.
Now you're married, is that correct? And have children? Okay.
I have one child.
One child, and then you're married.
Yes.
So did he want to lose weight, or what's his side of this? Was he wanting you to lose weight,
Like,
or didn't care?
Did he do it with you, or?
Right.
So he started before I did. He started to diet just because, he had clothes that were getting a little too tight. He was tired of having to go up a size. He's like, I'm not doing this. So he started doing, the chicken protein stuff. He started doing that probably 2 months before I started. And I don't know why men are so different, but he shed his weight just insanely fast.
And it is muscle. We do have a higher percentage of muscle, and that helps in a lot of different ways. That's why we tell people that is one thing, that once you change your eating and your nutrition, and you realize you're eating for nutrition for your body, but once you start doing that and start losing weight and start getting the energy, and then you start lifting, by far, resistance training is going to be the best thing to, cardio is fine, but you don't have to do it. And a lot of people can do it just with their resistance training, but it's for that reason, muscle. The more muscle you have, the healthier you're going to be, pretty much.
Very frustrating.
Yes.
And then how old is your daughter, son?
Daughter?
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry.
He is 4. Going to be 5
she's little.
next week. Yeah, she's little.
Okay. Yeah. You're just feeding her what you're eating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you changed her nutrition any? Is there anything you've said, okay, you're not having this anymore?
Yeah. So we don't do any more like fruit juices. We try to stick to, the milk or, water. She's really good about doing that. And then just sticking to the more, protein. She really likes rice. So, I'm like, I'm not really a big fan of rice, but, I'll make her some, even though I probably shouldn't be giving her rice.
Well, I think that's fine.
It's whatever. Yeah. It's really just, percentages. If that's all she's having is rice and she eats healthy for everything else, that's not something to worry about. That she'll take care of that later.
Right.
And she's in a growing phase.
And following your example.
Yeah. Without a doubt, it's going to be following that. So that's another reason why you need to stay on this and realize how much you have no idea what you're doing right now, how this is going to save the rest of your life. The number of medications, diseases, all the stuff. If you stick doing the nutrition you've just saved yourself a ton of money and hospitalizations and everything else. That's why I want to make sure you came on and talked to everybody about different things you did, which goes back to eating. Was there something that you used to eat all the time that now I can't have that? That's just a bad thing.
Yes. And I'm trying to think. Oh, it was McDonald's. So before I would eat McDonald's, once or twice a week. And the other day when my sister was sick, I was bringing her some food. And, I got me just like a little hamburger and I tried it. I was like, this is disgusting. I can't do this. Yeah. No thanks.
Isn't that funny? And
your taste buds, they do change so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
And besides the taste buds, the bacteria in your gut change a lot, because your gut bacteria is so important. They do so many healthy things, including making all the neurotransmitters for your brain. But when you eat that horrible ultra processed food, fast food restaurants and all the stuff from food manufacturers, that totally changes your gut bacteria, and your gut bacteria actually can give you your cravings. So if you've got bad bacteria, it makes you crave that, McDonald's, Burger King, all this fast food stuff. But when you start changing, you actually start eating healthy, you actually change your gut bacteria. And now that gut bacteria makes you crave healthy stuff. People don't believe it is that you do. I mean, I never crave I don't crave any sweets or anything anymore. If I'm hungry, it's like I'm craving some meat, maybe a different kind of meat or something,
Yeah.
but I don't get any cravings like that anymore.
Yeah. When you do eat out, what do you do?
So I try to get, mostly protein foods. So I'll get a steak or get a chicken breast with, the veggies or a hamburger wrapped in that lettuce, just anything to try to cut out as many carbs as I can and stick to that, that carnivore diet that I really like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so healthy. A girl just messaged me the other day on Facebook and was talking about how she had rheumatoid arthritis really bad. And now she's started switching, started listening to this, started changing her meals, getting away from the carbohydrates, and has gone to almost all carnivore, but a real food. It's only real vegetables and meat. And she'd been on drugs for 10 years. Something like that. I think 10 years on medications, trying all these different, nothing was working. She's having all adverse effects. She started on carnivore and her rheumatoid arthritis gone. She's on no pain meds.
Wow.
I know. It's nuts. It's nuts. You hear this stuff all the time, but it's crazy all the things that it clears up, arthritis, skin conditions. So that's why I want to make sure people don't look at this like a diet. This isn't a diet that you're losing weight. This is giving your body. And when you give your body the nutrients, it's amazing the different things that it can do for you, So that's wonderful.
Yeah. So do you find you're not hungry? Like, years ago, Steve and I did, we ate every 2 hours.
Everything.
We tried to get in 5 to 6 meals a day. So a little protein, a little carb, for every single meal. And I remember just being, it's like, is it 2 hours? Is it time to eat yet? I don't feel that way now. Are you good with waiting? If you have something around 12:30, are you good till 5:30?
Most days, yes. I will say that I'll have like a day or two during the week that I'm just like, I can feel it. Like it's hungry. I'm uncomfortable. I've tried drinking the water. I'm like, I just need something else. And so that's what I'll do. I always try to drink a bunch of water first. And then if it's still hanging around, I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe it's time to eat something.
Right. Yeah. I do the same thing.
Do you keep anything with you for those moments? Like beef sticks, beef jerky, deviled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, anything like that?
So I usually do deviled eggs. I will have just like a beef stick in my purse, or I'll leave it in my locker at work because that's where it's like where it's hitting me the bad. So I'll keep those there. But yeah, I usually try to just do anything really, really small. Right. Try to make it to my big meal.
Yeah. Do you think this is something you're going to be staying with?
Yeah, I think so. Because I'm happy, I have more energy. My daughter wants to go play. I can go play with her and we can go on a walk after dinner. Just the amount of energy that I have is just insane compared to what it was 4 or 5 months ago.
Right.
Isn't that great? Now, so since you have this energy, are you doing any kind of exercising, resistance training, working out, anything? Even walking?
I was like, we do take a walk after dinner. So we eat our dinner, then we go out for a walk, and then
perfect.
Then my daughter goes and plays with her friends down the street.
Now, your husband didn't have a lot of weight to lose, did he?
Yeah, because I think he was over 200 pounds when he started back again, and now he's like 150-ish.
150-ish?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's short, too. And is he 5'9"?
5'6".
5'6". Oh, even shorter than I thought. So,
but 50 pounds, that's a lot.
Don't even see that part. We'll edit it out.
But 50 pounds, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight. So does he feel the same? Does he have a lot of energy too?
Yeah, he's way more energetic than I am. Still, I'm just, hit that wall. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm going to bed.
Right. Yeah.
But when you do get your energy, that is another thing that comes up, because we would just sit around all the time. That's what we do. You get home and you just sit around, and then you start getting more energy and you feel like doing more things. You just want to go out and get with friends more, or go out and do whatever. You just want to get out of the house. That's what we found.
Yeah.
Although when the weather gets like this, it's time to go back in.
Oh, it's beautiful outside.
I know, it's beautiful to sit inside.
So does he eat the same thing you do? Did you ask her that?
Yes. So we typically have the same kind of like meals.
Like low carb type, mostly meat type of foods. Yeah. Is there anything? So I know whenever I'm because, go onto YouTube and you can just see all the recipes, everything that you can make. And do you have like a favorite recipe that had lots of carbs or anything, and you found a way to make it low carb?
Or you would
No.
like to? Is there a favorite thing that you love to eat that you'd like to say, oh, is there a way to make this low carb?
Well, it's funny because I can't remember what podcast number it was. A couple podcasts ago, you guys talked about what you guys eat. And you said one lasagna that you took out the pasta noodles and you did the ham. I want to try that so bad.
Yeah, it's actually chicken.
But you could probably use any meat, but we did the chicken in it.
We did chicken, yeah.
It tastes wonderful. You can't tell any difference. I mean, because pasta noodles don't have a taste anyway. They're just there to keep everything all layered. So do it with meat instead, and it's much more nutritious, much healthier, and tastes better. Like most of the food. I mean, you're seeing most of your food tastes better now. It's not just all that sweet stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it tastes like real food and not sweet like you said.
Yeah. Now, does she want, like, unfortunately, whenever our kids were little, we did not do.
Yeah, we didn't know all this stuff.
No, we didn't. And so they had like the boxed macaroni and cheese and pizza rolls and fish stick. Oh, it's just terrible. At least they're alive.
That's right.
That's important.
That's right. And they eat healthy now too.
Yeah.
Because they were with us during our little ride of learning new things about nutrition.
But does your daughter, do you guys keep that in your house or do you keep it out?
For
me, I can't have it.
We try not to keep it in the house. There's still some like 2 or 3 boxes left from before we started this, and she's not asked for them. She doesn't like think about them. I'm like,
good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
It's so nice that she's young and impressionable.
That's right. That's right. She still listens to you.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, you've got about 2 more years.
You think that many?
No, I don't. Just giving you hope. So is there anything besides that, anything else that you used to like to eat a lot and you can't? Because that's the other thing we're trying to do. And that's something that we've learned is somebody had said that is like, just take whatever you love to eat and you shouldn't and make it healthy. So that's what we did. That's what we started doing because we used to always love having like tacos and enchiladas and lasagna and all these things, sandwiches, hamburgers. It's like, well, because I loved going out to restaurants and having just the biggest hamburger. And I thought, well, can't ever do that anymore now. Until we started thinking this way. It's like, oh, yeah, you can. The only thing that's bad on here is the bun. You can have everything else. You can have the bacon, the tomato, the lettuce, the egg if you want it, whatever. All that stuff's fine. Just get rid of the bun and get rid of the fries, put steamed broccoli or something. That changed my world. Now I can go to any restaurant I want to and look at the biggest burger and just tell them no bun, and nobody blinks an eye. I mean, I think a lot of people are doing this. More and more people are becoming aware how we've been lied to about meat, and it's really, really sickening how we've been lied to about stuff. But I think a lot of people are aware. So restaurants don't even blink an eye if you ask for your hamburger without a bun. So that's why I was wondering if there was anything like that you liked that you still don't know of a good way to make it into a healthy meal.
Yeah, I would probably have to say like chicken Alfredo. Like that's probably like my favorite meal ever. And I'm just like, I don't know how to make it healthy, so I just don't even try it.
Yeah, so I know that not everybody likes these, but there's a little package, and they're miracle noodles. And I don't know I forget what they're making. It's like a kelp or something. It's something, but it's not green. And it's a little package, and they come in all kinds of different noodles, like fettuccine, angel hair pasta, all kinds of different pastas. And you could get that. You rinse it off really well. I saute that in butter, and then I don't know how to pronounce it. Rajos, Rajos. I've never made. I know you could make an Alfredo sauce that's definitely low carb, but Rajos is pretty good. It doesn't have sugar, and you can do that and add your chicken to that.
Okay, I'll have to give that a try then.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I'll
the
take
Alfredo
a picture.
Is really good.
We'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But there are ways. And then if you go like to YouTube and you Google carnivore Alfredo sauce, you're going to see all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So you can have your chicken Alfredo.
And if you see anything from Marie Emmerich,
Marie.
chances are it's going to be good. She's got a lot of really good recipes, and they're all very, very healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what she does. She makes what everybody likes and she makes it into a healthier version, you know, low carb, carnivore, keto, you know, she tries to make dairy free also. So yeah, she has a lot.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
send
thank
that.
you guys for telling me
Yeah.
that. I'll have to.
Yeah. I know, because you want to, it's not like you have to do this 100% and be perfect at it, but just doing it 90%, you know.
Yeah.
But then whenever you do go off, because I mean, I think probably having the chicken Alfredo is still a lot more. I mean, because I could eat a lot. I'm the same way. I love pasta and I can just eat too much of it. It's like, well, okay, I went off. Even though I went off, I was still pretty good. You know, having those other noodles and even zucchini noodles.
Yeah,
That wasn't
zucchini. We used
super-
to do zucchini noodles.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of the little spiralizers? It's a little plastic thing. You just put your zucchini on it and just sit there and turn a little crank and it just spiralizes it and you cut it and it makes it into perfect little noodles.
That's zucchini.
And spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is another one. You take a fork and go to that. And that comes out like spaghetti.
Anyway,
so there are healthy things that you can do, you know, to get away from all the man-made carbs with all the ultra processed seeds and stuff. Was there something else you?
Well, no, I was just my favorite thing was the Mexican food. It's like, I just couldn't imagine eating Mexican without chips and salsa. Now we do go out occasionally. We'll have it. I have chips and salsa, but we have cut back so far on the chips. It's just crazy how much we used to eat.
Yeah, we used to be
like a basket a piece, you know? And now we don't even finish it. Don't even finish one basket. So now we do protein bowls, which I'm sure I talked about in the other podcast, where we just do everything that's in a Mexican, you know, in your taco or whatever. And we just don't have the chips and you just get used to it. You don't even miss it.
And even when we do go out to Mexican, we'll get the fajitas.
Yeah.
And then we just get the biggest fajita and then we split the fajita and say, we don't need the shells. We don't need that, you know, and then we'll just split the meat up, put it on our plate and just eat it that way. And it's
my husband does that a lot when we go out.
You're what?
Like my husband will do the fajita thing. He just won't get any shells. He'll just get that plate.
Yeah.
Plate of meat.
Going to barbecue restaurants and just order a pound of meat a la carte.
Well,
that's what we do. They could split it.
Yeah.
I eat a pound myself, but you wouldn't have to. But that's another thing. And it's cheaper. It's so much cheaper. You buy a pound of a la carte and you look at somebody else, they're getting like 1/8 of a pound, you know, with all these sides, you know, that they don't need any of the sides. And it's more expensive than the pound. So,
I will say that I've noticed that when I go grocery shopping, you know, I've taken into your advice, like just shop the perimeter and not in the aisles in the middle. And the grocery bill is so much cheaper. Just buying those outside and not anything in the middle. I was like, oh man, I have to tell him this because it's so crazy.
It is. Thank you. Because everybody thinks the exact opposite. Oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's like, you have no idea how much you're wasting on non-nutritive crap that you're putting in your mouth, you know, and killing your body by doing it. And then you have to add in the cost of the medications and doctor's bills and hospital bills.
Exactly.
So you're going to keeping yourself away from all that too. You're so smart. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And I know you probably heard this, but we've talked about, and this was just one story we always repeat, but we see this all the time. We were in line, the little self-checkout, the guy and his son was in front of us like a teenager, and whatever the bill came to, like $150. And we looked at the cart and the kid was like, oh, it's $150. It's so expensive. There was no meat. There was soda pop, Gatorades, chips,
fruit juices, cookies, frozen pizzas.
Yep.
Just nothing but junk. Just
all that.
Just nothing but poison.
Not a fruit or a vegetable. Nothing.
And they're complaining about their grocery bill being high. It's like, well, if you actually bought groceries, it wouldn't be very high.
Yeah, bought some food. Yeah.
So you plan on keeping going on this. What's your next goal?
So, you know, obviously I am very driven by, you know, the scale, but I did that one that I shared with you guys of me fitting into my wedding dress that definitely did not fit on my wedding day. So I shared that. That was my one goal. And then my next one is to be in that healthy range. So I'm looking to be, I think, Steve, that chart that you shared with me probably a year ago now was like 130, 140-ish, somewhere in there. So that's my next goal.
Good deal. Good deal. You're going to hit it. I know you're going to hit it. Do you have any questions, or does your husband have any questions or anything about things you're doing or things you want to know whether you should or shouldn't?
I don't think so. I think I listen to, every Monday I listen to your guys' podcast when it comes out. And I get that email and be like, yep, right on my way to work. I listen to it.
You're just the sweetest.
yeah, you guys have such great information in all these other videos. And I just wish that people would take the time to listen to just a couple of your guys' podcasts, because right there is the beef of your knowledge. That's where they're going to get all of their answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I know. It's what he's trying to do for sure.
I really do want people to understand what's going on. We have been lied to. They are trying to make us sick. That's how food companies, drug companies, and they're not trying. The food companies aren't trying to make us sick. They're trying to make money. Just so happens that's making us sick.
So if you had one thing that you could tell people besides listen to our podcast, of course, like maybe you wish you would have started sooner, or something you did do that, you're glad that you did start. Is there one thing you could tell people?
Like one thing, unless you already have one, but one thing, most people that I know, they think of this as a diet. Oh, you're losing weight, you're dieting. And then most people think of dieting as like they have to look at calories. So they're eating the same crud that they were eating. They're just trying to eat less of it, which does not work. And so that's why they're starving all the time, because they're eating carbs, but they're trying to eat less. So now they're starving even more. And then they start having all these other issues saying, oh my gosh, I looked at how expensive real food is and blah, blah, blah. And then they talk themselves out and they start gaining the weight back because they didn't do it the right way. Did you feel anything like, oh my gosh, I'm starving to death. This is horrible. I can't do this. I'm going to go back to my old ways. Or I was like, no, I feel wonderful through this whole thing.
I will say, obviously starting out, it's hard because trying to transition from, the bad foods to the better foods, it is hard. And I think that's where people maybe kind of lose that hope, is that, oh my gosh, it's so hard. I'm so hungry. I can't do this anymore. I think once you get past that point, so say, because for me, it took a month. Past that month, after that, it's just like smooth sailing. It's easy. But, people get hung up on that first month, and that first month's hard. And, if I tell my friends at work this, because I'm trying to get them to transition over with me, I'm like, you guys have seen it. You've seen just what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just changing what I'm eating, and you guys can too. And they're like, oh, it's too hard. No, I can't. I'm like, well, if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? Everyone would be,
right.
Me, whatever.
Yeah.
But, for me being like, oh yes, it was hard, but now it's easy. And, not everyone can say that.
Right.
Trying to reach over.
Now, Steve and I, we will talk about different, our personalities, the different way we have lost weight or kind of gone about it, being cold turkey or gradually doing some things. And I had heard on something or listened to a book, but talking about, so I'm just curious if this is kind of what you have done. It's like you made a decision to not eat it, to definitely go low carb or to make protein a priority. So let's say you make that decision today. It's like, I'm not doing that anymore, versus every day you get up. It's like, okay, today, now every day you're having to make this choice versus you made one choice. You see what I mean? Yeah. Right.
Just makes that more one sense. Choice, just do it, stick with it.
Yeah.
Better.
Right.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, that's what he does. I've lived with him, and that's what he does. It's there's no mental work. When you were talking about those girls saying it's so hard, it's like, well, they're mentally wearing themselves out thinking about how hard it's going to be,
So your big why was just so you go up a flight of stairs without breathing hard.
Yep.
Now you can do that.
Yep. But now I feel better.
I know. See, that's what.
And I look better.
Oh, without a doubt, you look great. I couldn't believe you in your little wedding dress. That looks so cool. And you said, how long ago was it? And you couldn't even fit in it. You couldn't even zip it up.
Right. So I'm trying to think back. Probably 2 years ago, I was at my heaviest, and it definitely wasn't fitting anywhere, any shape, form.
Right.
But now I'm less than what I weighed than when I got married. And I just keep going just to see, to feel even better, to have this more energy and, showing people, this works. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Easy.
Does your husband like it a lot more?
Every time I ask him, he says, I love you no matter what. So I have to say he
perfect answer.
But is he more frisky now than he was?
No, not really. No.
Oh, that's so bad.
She's probably like he was frisky.
Right? That's right.
I don't think it's changed at all.
He's a man. Well, if there was one thing to give people, to tell them, Piece of advice.
My advice is, I'll say this.
Just,
it's hard.
just do it.
It's hard, but you'll feel better. And everyone deserves to feel better.
Right.
I know there are people just absolutely feel like absolute garbage. And
Yes. Yeah. And they think that's just the way life is, you know, especially as you get older. As you get older, you just start feeling
I hear that
horrible
all day at work.
And it's crazy.
Don't get older. I'm like, why? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, that's all crazy. There's a lot of people in all these conventions we go to. There's a lot of people older than me. I'm 62, and there's a lot of people older than I am. They are so fit. It is awesome to be around them because they just exude energy. You know, like you said, you are now.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so man, all these years, you're on top of it.
Now, how long ago was it that you weighed this much?
Let me think. So 2016. So 8 years.
It's been 8 years since you weighed, really. And you've been married how long?
4.
Really? That is so cool. I'm so proud of you. I really, really am. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and telling everybody what you did and letting everybody know it'll be hard for a little tiny bit. Did you find that by eating protein and fat, by eating meat, that it keeps you feeling full? And even in the first month, you really weren't having all the cravings that you usually do. Did you notice anything like that?
I would say like the first couple of days, I missed that Starbucks drink, but
Habits are hard.
Yes, it was kind of hard, but it's easier now. I think also what helped me was not being next to Starbucks anymore. So there wasn't like one I could just go away. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't have time to go. So knowing that I didn't have time, I had to be somewhere, you know, first couple days. And then like after that, I'm like, oh, I don't really want one. Like I don't really need one.
So when you say the first month was really hard, what was the main hard thing? Why do you keep saying that? Is it just because the hunger that comes, or is it something else?
Yeah, just because I think my body, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe because my body was used to eating, you know, like you guys, like every 2 hours, like, oh, I have to have a snack. I have to have this. Oh, I want some sugar, or I want something over here, or a drink. That trying to, you know, ignore that part of my brain saying, you want this, or you need this, and making it say, you just want this, you don't need this.
Right.
Trying to get over that mental factor is probably the hardest thing that I had to do.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you did it. And it didn't take as long as you thought. Now you're over, you're on the other side. Now the rest is going to be fun. It's just going to be fun. And you'll keep going. And don't forget, if you plateau out, that's fine. Don't stop. That just means you're resetting your body weight set point that we talked about.
I do have a question for you guys. I'm glad you brought that up, because I've noticed like every 10 pounds, I will stop for like 4-ish days. And then after that, it's like, oh, big drop. I'm like, okay. And then it's like trickling, and then it'll like plateau again. And then it's like a big drop. Is that that's normal, right?
Yeah. That's like, remember I told you.
You're very fortunate. It's only 4 days.
Yeah. Some people it's a little bit longer.
Months.
It's not, well,
Yeah,
some can be, but it kind of depends on where you're starting with and what your neural health is. But remember, you have that body weight set point. So as you lose weight, your body's been comfortable at the weight you are. And so as you start losing weight, it thinks there's something wrong, and it tries to get you back up to that weight. And it does by doing two things. One, it makes you hungry, and the other, it slows your metabolism down because it's trying to get your weight back up. So that's why diets don't work, because when they're trying to diet by eating the same crud and just eating less of it, and that stuff doesn't keep you full at all anyway. Now they're starting losing a little bit of weight because they're decreasing the calories, and now their body's making them hungry also, because the body weight set point tried to get up. Plus they're eating this horrible stuff. So that's why they're starving to death, and that's why it usually doesn't work. And that's why we tell them your metabolism is going to be slow. So this isn't the time to start working out. If you've never worked out, this isn't the time to start. It'll happen when you get to where you are now. When you just have for a little bit, all of a sudden you start feeling like you have more energy, you feel great. And that's when you can start doing more stuff, but don't even worry about it. So that's what's happening, is just think of it as you're losing weight and you are going down. But the way you combated your body making you hungry is you're eating the healthy stuff that actually keeps you feeling full, protein and fat. There's all kinds of ways that actually makes you still feel full. It sends signals to the brain. But since you're eating the stuff that fills you up, you're not working, so you don't have to worry about that. So now your body weight's just resetting. It was used to being up here, now it's down here. So it's fighting this way and you're fighting it the other way, but you're doing it the smart way. So now you'll just plateau a little bit. It'll reset your body weight set point and you'll go back down again. And your body weight set points, the weight we all have one. It's all different. We all have our own depending on what we do. But your body weight goes up and down, over that same number. When you step on the scale, it's a little bit under. This time it's a little bit over. That's your body weight set point for whatever it is. And if that's higher than you need, that's what you need to do. So everybody's going to go through that plateau phase because you're actually readjusting your body weight set point, which is exactly what you want to do. So like just say if you were going to go back eating again, chances are you'd level off right about that last set point that you got to. Chances are you would level off there. If you went past that, it's going to do the opposite. It's going to make it where you're not hungry more and speed it up to get you back down. So even though your body weight set point was up here, then it went down to here, then it went down here. If you start going back up, you'll go to this. You probably won't ever go back up to this one unless you want to and just start eating the same stuff again. Then I would just have to come over and back around. I won't let you do that.
Well, if I ever do that, I'm like, I definitely need to snack.
That's right.
I just feel too good right now to even think about doing that.
Yeah,
and I can tell. I love it. I love seeing you this way. I love when you text, you can just tell you're so giddy. And I absolutely love that. It's like if everybody knew they could feel the same way, just by changing what you put in your mouth. I mean, that's all you have to do. Doesn't take any more time out of the day. It's cheaper. It's crazy. But I do want to commend you. Seriously. I'm really proud of what you've done. Do you have any questions for us about anything?
I don't think so. I just know, starting out, I would do that plateau and I'd get so frustrated. And then I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm never going to get down lower. And then, the very next day, it's like, oh, here you
go. Yeah. I'm so glad you said that because people need to realize that. Just stick with it. That's all you got to do. When you hit the plateau, don't get discouraged. Just stick to it. You're doing the right thing. It may take your body a little bit longer to come down and reset the body weight set point. So that's where people are different. But don't think, this isn't worth it. And you're going to go back up because I guarantee it's going to be worth it. Just for all the reasons we've talked about.
Oh, yeah.
The girls at work, have you guys talked about their whys? Why would they want to lose weight and get healthy? It just seems like an odd question. Why would you want to be healthy? I mean, to me, that's just a stupid question, but a lot of people don't really care whether they're healthy or not.
Like, I don't know, because this was 2 months ago, I think. There was one of the older women. She's like, I have to know what you're doing. I was like, well, this is what I'm eating. She's like, well, what are you doing to work out? I'm like, well, other than walking, here at work. And then after dinner, I'm not really working out anymore. That is my workout. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. She's like, she's like, no. I was like,
Did you give her my book?
I didn't give her a book, but I did tell her about your podcast.
Well, tell her about the book.
I will. She does like to read, so I do need to get on.
And then, a lot of people they're very stuck on the exercising. It's like, and they also use that excuse. So if they can't exercise, well, then they're not going to eat right because then they can't lose weight.
Yeah. I mean,
we've gotten that excuse before.
Oh, a lot. I mean, I've actually done full podcasts talking about how losing weight has nothing to do with exercise. Exercise is wonderful. I truly believe in it. We do it every day, but that has nothing to do with losing weight, and that's why I tell people that, and everybody, well, yes, you do. You build muscle. Like, yeah, I know. But in general, it's all what you put in your mouth. It's not about the exercise part because just like Theresa said, they use that for excuses for everything. They may not have the money to work out or the place to work out or know how to work out or the time to work out or, what they have all kinds of excuses. And just like they say, you can either make excuses or you make progress. You cannot do both. So everybody can just fall on all these excuses on that, but they can't fall on any excuses for eating. I mean, that's 100% your choice. You can't use it's cheaper to eat unhealthy food. Like,
that's not.
No, it's not at all. And you're not even eating food. You're not giving your body any of the nourishment. So you're constantly hungry and you just get sick, more and more sick. And I mean, it just doesn't hold water. So that's why we say that about exercise. Yeah, it is important, but not as far as losing weight. It's just a reason people can make excuses. So I think I just didn't ramble. I don't know. I don't even know how that one started.
She worked with you for 3 years. So
yeah.
she knows.
And weren't they great 3 years?
It was. Now, I wish maybe I could ask them this week, be like, why don't you want to eat like me? Like, obviously, it's easy. Like, yeah, you don't get to, enjoy the foods that you think you enjoy right now, but you won't enjoy them 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of it just seeing your bubbly attitude and how you change and how great you look. I mean, that's what's going to change it more than anything is seeing that you actually did it. And I'm not doing this to promote my book. I'm just saying, but seriously, I mean, it does have all this information in it, and let them know that they can get that on. They can get it on Audible. They can get it on an ebook. They can get a paperback, hardback, whatever, but there's different forms they can get it in.
Ebook's only 99 cents.
Yeah. The ebook's only 99 cents. What's that?
So why wouldn't you buy it for 99 cents?
Well, that's what I would think.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like ebooks.
I don't like ebooks, so.
Yeah. We like to well, that's why we have this bookcase back here. We like lots of books. We read a lot. But anyway, well, unless there's something else you have, I just want to thank you again for doing it. Thank you for caring about your health and doing this. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
I know
really
you're kind of maybe a little nervous about it.
Yeah, but talking with you guys, just talking with you for 3 years, Steve, I already know how he talks. Like, I already know I'm ready. It's just trying to, I don't know, talk about me and my life changes. Like, that's not something that I do a whole lot since having a child and, and a husband. Be like, oh, let me talk about them. Like,
right. Yeah. They're so much more exciting.
They are. I'm boring. Like, they're fun.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yes, not anymore.
Now you're not boring and you're fun.
One of the things that I want to do is I wanted to do this podcast with you guys because it's a great opportunity to show, people that I know and maybe people that I don't know, is that anybody can do this. I'm a regular person that, had these addictions, that, had her Starbucks every single day, that had, ice cream every night after dinner and just went to sleep right after that. I don't have to do that anymore. And if I can do it, definitely anybody else can do it.
Do you sleep better?
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I'm tired, I go to bed and I go to sleep, and then I wake up, at the time that I need to wake up.
That is so cool. And I'm so glad that you're doing this at an age where your daughter can see, and hopefully you're going to start feeding her the same way. It is the most sad thing. I mean, it just absolutely kills my heart when I see these kids, less than 10 even, but in their teens and 20s, that are so obese. And we never used to see that unless people were up in their 60s, 70s, and all the disease states that they would get at that age. And now these kids are getting all these, hypertension and all this stuff that, in their 20s, and high blood. It's just crazy. It's so sad. And I'm sure your child, well, does she go to daycare or anything?
Yes, she is in daycare.
Yeah, I won't ask anything, but chances are there's already, even at her age, I bet there's already obese little kids that are walking around. And I feel sorry for the parents who don't know. I mean, especially if they're seeing around here and they see that kids are just bigger now. That's just how they are. And they don't really realize this is a health thing. And you're setting your child up for horrible, horrible health outcomes very, very early in their life, in their 20s and 30s. So you being able to do this while your child's still young is wonderful. And hopefully this will wear off onto, maybe her friends' parents or whatever too, just.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Oh, I know. Well, that's all I've got. I just want to make sure that you told your story because I'm so proud of you and you're so bubbly all the time when I talk to you. And I just love that. I love it. So I guess that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
And for the listeners out there, thank you all so very much for listening. Have a fantastic week. And as always, make simple, healthy choices to live a quality life. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button below and be sure to tell someone else who may want to change their health path as well. And don't forget, you can also purchase my book, Your Plate is Your Fate, on Amazon or Audible. And if you do, please leave a review.